just to start, I'm Mayor Diane Martinez of the City of Emeryville.
And I'm John Affelt, Board President of Emery Unified.
And just a little bit of housekeeping. There are restrooms right there through the double glass doors. And there is a canvas outside. It's a canvas sign that we would love for everyone in attendance today to sign, and that will be displayed as a memento of this occasion. And there's one last thing that I wanted to say, everyone. Well, first of all, thank you for coming. Thank you so much for coming to this momentous occasion, the ribbon cutting ceremony of the Emeryville Center of Community Life. As a parent in the Emery Unified School District and as a resident in Emeryville, I'm here all the time, often from before 8 in the morning till after 9 o'clock at night. That's just when there's a dive-in movie at the pool. But I'm honored to be here among the many hearts and minds that have been part of the ECCL vision from the beginning, including former and current city council members, school board trustees, city staff, and community members. And there is a long list of people to acknowledge and thank for what they've done in the process. So if you wouldn't mind, please hold your applause. I've got a long list of folks to get through. My colleague, Mr. Affelt, has a long list of people to thank, as do the many esteemed speakers that we have this morning. So first, I'd like to specifically acknowledge former council members Kurt Brinkman, Jennifer West, and Ken Bukowski. Current council members Jack Asher, Ruth Atkin, Nora Davis, and Scott Donahue. Former city managers John Flores. John, are you in here? And Sabrina Landreth. Sabrina, are you here? Hi. Current city manager Carolyn Lair. City attorney Michael Gina, who isn't here today. Assistant city managers Cindy Montero. She deserves a big thank you. Community services director Pedro Jimenez. Recreation manager Brad Helfenberger. Program coordinator Stacy Thomas, and recreation supervisor Nizam Adamati. I'd also like to thank former city employees, Serenity Malay, Heather Haffer, Mike Biddle, who unfortunately couldn't make it, Margaret O'Brien, I believe she also wasn't able to attend today, and Melinda Chen. And there's some business community members that I want to acknowledge in the room. Rich Robbins, Jeff Sears, and Judy Wetterer from Wareham. And if he's in the room, Mr. John Gooding as well, who's been part of this process for quite some time. And I want to give a special shout out to our Chief of Police, Jennifer Tejada, and to the Emeryville Police Department, who have made the first few days of opening this campus very smooth and helped a lot with safety and traffic. And I'd also like to acknowledge our fire department, who this year marks the 3rd annual Back to School drive, which is a huge support to our community and the kids in our schools. And I remembered my 3rd piece of housekeeping that I wanted to remind everyone that we're going to break up into tours after the ceremony. So, we'll have some speakers, and then if you'd like to see more of the campus, we'll be in some smaller groups, and we'll show you more of ECCL. And with no further ado, I'd like to pass the microphone along.
Thank you, Diane. And I'd like to thank and appreciate being here our current school board members, including Christian Patch, Don Merriam, Joy, Kent Ash, and our newest member, Brittany Collins-Rogers. Former superintendents, John Quinn is in the room, as well as Peter Corona, I believe is here. There we go. Former school board members, Melody Dice and Miguel Dwin, joining us. Maybe Melody didn't make it. And also Josh Scheiman is on the East Coast, but his wife, Ruth, is here in Josh's stead. We also have some former and current COC members. This is the committee that has overseen the 95 $5 million bond, Measure J, to get this place built, and done a lot of good work to, in the weeds, make sure that it's on track and lawful, and that would include Marceline Kravchuk, Rodney Wong, and Tom Rauch, if Tom's here. We also make sure that you look at buttons. People are wearing buttons. We have some Emery Unified alumni joining us, and they have special buttons. So make sure you introduce yourself, including Coach Abe. Is Coach Abe here? He's coached us to a few basketball championship coaches in the back in the 60s, I think that was. 90 years old, still going strong. Also Cheryl Webb, former school board members here, and maybe Forrest G. Is Forrest in the room? Okay. Thank you all for coming out, and thanks for your leadership and participation over the years in making this a wonderful place happen. Before I introduce Barbara Lee, I just wanted to offer one particular observation. And I came in to the old facility not very often before I was on the school board, but to vote, because it was a polling place. And frankly, it was kind of a depressing place. It was dark and not well utilized, and it was old and tired. And it didn't make me feel very inspired about what kind of facility we were offering our students. Later, I was one of the lead counsel on a lawsuit against the state of California for, among other things, not providing all of our students in California with equal and adequate school facilities. A case called the Williams v. California. And there was one particular piece of evidence that I was interested in that case generating, and we ended up bringing out a professor from NYU who interviewed students up and down California at good schools and really, really decrepit schools. And she produced a report which, with the conclusion of what you could expect, that beyond just the academic impact of not having a good place to learn and adequate school labs, etc., that there's really an emotional and a social, psychological impact of going to a school that is in not very good repair, that is not up to date with the latest technology. And this message, students were internalizing in themselves, that they were not valued by their community, by the adults around them. And they were going to sporting events at other schools and plays and things, and seeing that other schools had much better facilities and opportunities, and that just further reinforced that their community wasn't stepping up for them. So I think what we've done here is build a new building, yes, but we're also sending a new message to our students that we value you. You matter. You, even if our population is 75% low income and 20% English learners, you have the same right as every other child in America to fulfill your potential. And we care about you, and we're going to provide you with a 21st century facility that has the latest technology, healthcare services, recreational space, library, so that you can fulfill your potential. So that is why we're here today, and this is the beginning, I hope, of a very bright future for Emery Unified and the city of Emeryville. Thank you. And with that, I would like to introduce our first speaker, who needs very little introduction. Oh, one more thing before I do that. I neglected to mention we have Nancy Skinner in the room, who's a former senator and assemblywoman from our district here, and Isabel Cortez from Lanny Hancock's office. I think, is Isabel with us, representative from Lanny Hancock? Both were very supportive and instrumental of passing Nancy's bill, AB 1080, which really helped make this place legally happen and enable this sort of unique joint partnership between the city and the school district. So we very much appreciate your also being here to see its fruition. Our first speaker is our local congresswoman who has been a supporter from the start, and in fact was instrumental in getting us federal funds to rebuild the gym here and make it earthquake proof. It is the earthquake shelter for the city of Emeryville, thanks to that investment that came from our congresswoman. But more than that, she's been a supporter of a full service community school concept, and we're very lucky to have her as our representative. Congresswoman?
Thank you, John, and good morning. Let me, again, John, thank you very much for your leadership, and your comments really summarized what this is really about. And it's about our children, it's empowering our young people, and helping them really know that they truly are valued and really are the future. So thank you very much for securing it for them. And to Mayor Martinez, it's good to see you and your little one this morning, and so happy this is happening under your watch, and opening under your watch. So congratulations to all of the elected officials, dignitaries, brothers and sisters, and friends. Just want to say how happy I am to be here and how this center really demonstrates the economic and cultural vitality that Emeryville brings to, of course, my congressional district, the 13th Congressional District, which I am very proud of. Thank you, Kurt. It's really a true model for other cities, and it really makes me very proud to represent you. This project has been in the works now, 15 years now, and it's really exciting to see it all come together. We were able, yes, to bring in, when we could, earmark, a small earmark for the Health and Wellness Center, which now is housed here, which I'm very pleased to know. Because this is not just another community center, but it's really a vital resource and a vibrant hub for community life. It's where families can send their children to school, take advantage of a wide array of services, including, and so many school districts don't have this for young people, after-school programs, job training courses, quality mental and dental and healthcare services, all together in a comprehensive fashion, where young people and families feel comfortable and excited, really, to be here. And so we're going to continue to do what we can do at the federal level, even with all these horrible budget cuts. I think Emeryville, you're making resources, tax dollars, go a long way in doing so much great work. The collaboration, and I was really impressed and interested to read the presentation here, because young people had such a vital played such a vital role in putting this together. And that really is what it's about, incorporating their ideas and working with them, because this is their center. And so I just want to congratulate you. I'm glad I'm home for a minute. It's good to be home, and just thank you again for making me very proud. And I know the young people and all of the families of Emeryville will tout this as another achievement, because Emeryville, again, is a leader in the 21st century on so many issues. And it's good to see the public-private partnership continue. Rich, I'm glad to see you. I don't know if John is here, but so many friends that I have known for many, many years, who may or may not be elected, but who have constantly been focused on the development and the community expansion of Emeryville. And so I just have to say thank you again. You make me very proud.
Thank you, Congresswoman Lee. There are a couple folks that I'd also like to acknowledge that I haven't had a chance to yet. One is Brandon Barranco, who's here representing Tony Thurmond, Assembly member of our 15th district. Brandon, are you in here? Well, hopefully he will be here later. And then also Sheila Jordan, a former Alameda County Superintendent of Schools. Sheila, are you here? Well, I'd like to acknowledge these folks even if they're not in the room. Next up, we will have Amy Schrago, who's representing the office of Keith Carson, Alameda County Supervisor, and Keith Carson's office worked hard to help us get the dental chairs at our wellness center, for which we are very grateful.
Hi, good morning. Supervisor Carson was sorry he couldn't be here this morning. He's on his way up to Sacramento for a meeting with all the other county supervisors throughout the state. But he wanted me to share with all of you how excited he was that this is finally happening, that the doors are open, because we've been watching this partnership with the city and the school district for a very long time, and are so happy that the county could come to the table to help with the health and wellness services that will be provided here, and are really happy that we can make sure that dental was a critical part of the services delivered here, because we know for our students that it is so important that in addition to being physically healthy and mentally healthy, that they have healthy teeth, because we also know that that's a leading cause of absence for a lot of our students. So we are so grateful and excited to have this center open here, and look forward to coming back and seeing it full of smiling, happy children, and we have a commendation for you all to celebrate this great occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. And next up, we have Marty Lynch. And Marty is the Executive Director and CEO of Lifelong Medical, which is the provider of our school-based health center. Marty.
Thanks, everybody. What an exciting day to be here when we actually get this community center open. I've been at Lifelong a long time, and Emeryville residents have been coming to our Over 60 site, our West Berkeley site, our Ashby site, but now we're going to be able to provide services directly here in Emeryville, and that's totally fantastic. So the health center part of the project, as Amy alluded to, we're talking medical care, we're talking mental health, we're talking dental care, and of course education and wellness. And I think just to acknowledge, we all know that it's important for kids and families to have access to health care, but what we all do in the community is often more important to our overall health than just the health care. So we're excited to be partners with you. Now I want to acknowledge that I'm totally supportive, but we have 3 or 4 staff in the room, if you guys would raise your hand, who are actually working on the project, delivering the services, getting the facility up. So early October, we'll be ready to go, and we're totally looking forward to it. Thank you for having us partner with the city and the school district on this really exciting project. Thank you.
Thank you, Marty. Next, I would like to invite up, actually, it's not you. I would like to invite up Tracy Shear, the Director of Healthy Schools and Communities for the Alameda County HCSA.
Want to say hi? Say hi to everyone. This is what it's all about. Good morning. So this is amazing. I was actually thinking this morning, the very first time I heard about this, many superintendents ago. It was I think Tony Smith, and we were like, that's amazing. If Emeryville can do this, this is going to be a model for the country. So I'm very involved in the community school work around the country, and this really is going to be a place where a lot of people are going to want to come and visit. So congratulations to everybody who worked on this. And I think what's so powerful about this partnership is that it includes our students, our families, our community members, our CVOs, the county, the district, the city, which makes it very powerful because it happened, and we will continue to grow the health and wellness services, I think, because of that partnership. And one of the things we've learned in Healthcare Services Agency around the partnerships is that it takes some really key ingredients, which I think are here in the room. Transformative leadership, right? Dynamic partnerships, smart financing. It takes money for all of this to happen, and blending our funding. And learning together and really doing what makes the most sense. So this is the 29th school health center that will actually open in Alameda County, because we know that it works. It's had a lot of power for our students, and we keep being asked to support them more and more and more. So congratulations to the students in Alameda County who keep really pushing forward our vision around health and wellness. I also want to say that we've had a really strong partnership between the county and the district around behavioral health. And so that partnership is really powerful, because it's about creating positive environments, and then it's about supporting kids on the ground in schools to support their social emotional learning and development. So as the county healthcare services agency, I just want to say we're in it with you forever. And we look forward to growing the health and wellness services and really adapting things as we go along. And I actually just wanted all the folks who worked on making the health center and this place a reality to stand for 1 minute. You might have done this because I came in a little late, but there's a lot of folks. So yes, let's just, everyone, come on, don't be shy. A lot of you worked on this. I bet you there's more. So just look around. Marty, you're not standing, and Amy, you're not standing. I see some folks here. Come on, yep. Yes, school board members, so really, thank you so much, because this is actually a great example for our young people. We're talking about them partnering, and so we've got to kind of walk our talk, and we did do that. So thank you so much, congratulations to everybody, and we look forward to continuing our partnership.
Now, next up is one of our city council members, and Ruth Atkin, along with Nora Davis, have been with us since the beginning and have been pushing this vision from the city, and she's seeing it to its conclusion. So it's quite fitting that we get to hear Ruth's perspective this morning. Ruth Atkin.
So one of the things I'm going to do is take a little license, because I have some prepared remarks which I'll say, but I want to call up Nancy Skinner right now, because she had to do something remarkable to make this project happen. Nancy, come on up.
Thank you, Ruth, and thank all of you for being here. I am thrilled that this facility looks so gorgeous and that the doors are open, and what I've heard is that children love it, which is the most essential thing. And you know, it's such a brilliant idea. Who would think that our education code, prior to the bill I had to carry in 2009, would have prevented this facility? The education code in California, there was some logic to it, prevented the mixing of uses, because the fear was if you had some other kind of use adjacent or at a school site, you would expose children to some other, bad elements or something. But here, what has Emeryville done? Emeryville has said to its children and to its community that we so value education that we are making this the center for community life. We are making it the center, and we are putting everything together so that those children can feel the center of the universe, but also they and their families can get all the services that are being provided. And thank you, Marty, for having the clinic here. I love Lifeline. But anyway, it was a privilege to carry that legislation, and it seemed, when I first introduced it, I thought, oh, this is going to be easy. It wasn't. You can't believe the amount of hurdles we went through. But fortunately, the legislation was not only to allow the center here, but anywhere in the state can now do this, and it is a model, and I really salute you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. So today is a big celebration. I'm glad to see it's standing room only here in this room. The opportunity to create such a unique, multifaceted, and multi-purpose and sizable public facility as ECCL in any community only comes around once in several generations. Today is a remarkable testament to what can be accomplished when there's a need and a vision to meet that need. Today's celebration represents the commitment of the entire community to come together to support its citizens. Today is about lifting up the entire Emeryville community for generations to come. They say that out of crisis comes opportunity. The vision for ECCL started back in 2001 with the development of a youth services master plan. The school district was in financial crisis and taken over by the state, and concurrently, city officials realized we needed to strengthen the community by bringing more families to live here. At the same time, the city and the school district realized they each needed new facilities. The city recreation programs were operating out of leaky portable trailers. School classrooms were small and outdated. John Affeld already spoke about how kind of dreary it was to just physically be here. EUSD did not have a science lab. There weren't the physical facilities to properly prepare students for the future. The city's too small for each jurisdiction to try to solve its problems in isolation from each other. So we came together. We conducted many early visioning sessions. Out of those sessions came the idea of serving the whole community from cradle to cradle. Ruth Simon might remember hearing some of that. It's not cradle to grave, which means it's cradle to cradle, which means that the effects continue to the next generation. What has emerged is a truly unique partnership that does not exist anywhere else in the country. We've heard from former Assembly member Nancy Skinner that we had to change the state education code to make this joint governance, joint occupancy project possible. ECCL is the physical embodiment of this integration of EUSD and city programs, but the future success of the center community life lies in the continued integration of programs, not merely co-locating them together on this campus. This project would not have been realized without a lot of blood, sweat, and tears of many people committed to the ECCL vision. Even if this were only a big development project, there still would have been unforeseen circumstances. And if this were merely a school construction project, then extensive community input beyond the teachers, parents, and students would not have happened. And if this had been a straightforward construction project, we would not have had to go to the voters to approve Measure J, which enabled a majority of the financing for ECCL to move forward. The strength of this project has persisted through massive changes among EUSD and city administrators, staff members, and elected officials. And you know who you are, and I thank you for coming to see the fruits of all of this. There are too many people to name, and I would risk hurting someone's feelings by leaving them out. So to all of you here, thank you for helping shape the future of the community, and now we see the present, not just the future of the community, but here it is in the present. And I hope all of you heard the children's voices when they were at recess. They were having a good time. They are happy to be here. However, a few people and groups deserve special mention. I want to call out Roy Miller, who was the school architect, and the various conceptual, architectural, and engineering teams. I want to talk about the people who led the community and school engagement activities, and thank you, Hayan, for coming today. You were part of that, and the National Center for Community Schools. And I want to thank Melinda, who's here today, Melinda Chin, who came to the city of Emeryville enticed by the potential of this project, and who grew our community services department, and Cindy Montero, who has most of her feet out the door at this point, but really saw it through a very critical stage. So, yeah, there you are by the door. How fitting. And I want to commend the people of the community who comprise the various task forces, which include, and some mention have an overlap has been made already, but I want to start with the Wellness Task Force, facilities, governance, instructional, community and teen, the Citizens Oversight Committee, and the Architect Selection Committee. And all of these are just one aspect of all of the community engagement that went into this. I have to thank the teachers and staff of EUSD and the city staff who did the heavy lifting of identifying what they needed out of this campus, and they spent hours poring over programmable time, figuring out who could access what and when. I want to thank the city and school district attorneys and other staff members for helping to hammer out a joint occupancy agreement that'll last 66 years. As with any development project, many pieces of financing have come together, and I want to mention them because all the efforts, large and small, helped make this happen. And first off was $25 million commitment from the former Emeryville Redevelopment Agency, which we had to fight and sue the state in order to keep. So, yay, we won. And this is here. Mention was already made from the Congresswoman's efforts for a FEMA grant to make the gym seismically safe. And that is our designated mass shelter here in town. We also had a housing-related parks grant, a national park and recreation gardening grant. I want to thank Wareham Development, I know Rich and Jeff are here today, for STEAM funding. You might be familiar with STEM funding. We added the A to include science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And of course, Measure J, which provided the bulk of the funding through the bonds. You've heard the axiom, think globally and act locally. Well, today we've shown that Emeryville is a global actor by creating this visionary, state-of-the-art, unique public facility. As a city council member and sometimes mayor, it's always been my dream to strengthen the community by building a relational infrastructure, not merely a physical one. ECCL is both relational and physical. And the challenge that we have today is moving forward to treasure these relationships, they're precious relationships, and to cultivate this unique partnership. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Atkin. If we had a yearbook to commemorate all of the hard work that went into ECCL, Ruth and Nora would each get their own pages for being here for the long haul. But my next guest speaker would, I think he'd get most likely to have missed a night's sleep in the last 2 years because of the oversight work that he's had to do to make this campus come together. So I'd like to invite up Dr. John Rubio, our superintendent.
Thank you. History and success. I'm holding a document that I probably shouldn't have in my hands because it's pretty delicate, dated as an article of agreement from the 10th of October in the year 1884. And this article of agreement was between what was then called the Emery School District of Oakland Township and a specific architect for the purposes to build and frame a 2-story building for the purpose of school for the sum of $5,120. Okay. History. Another piece of history I found as I was digging through the archives recently. In 1928 or 1929, the Emery School District sold a piece of land to the city for $10,000 across from our other property on 61st Street. And 2 weeks later, the city of Emeryville, I think it had a different name then, but sold the school district for the same amount of money, $10,000, a piece of property to extend the old Anna Yates campus. Our partnership goes back, therefore, to at least 1928, 1929. So I just want to lend that to our conversation and say thank you to the city and everyone here for this partnership. Success. We have had over 150 new students who we weren't expecting enroll in school. Over 50 of those new students are 1st through 5th graders who are just coming from other schools. Over 65 are 6th graders, and over 60 are enrolled now in 9th grade, which is the highest numbers we've seen in 6th grade and 9th grade in almost 10 years. Wow. So history and success. ECCL is and is going to continue to be a great success. And I just want to say thank you for everybody, because many of you were working on this many years before I was here superintendent. I also just want to do a quick few thank yous to a few people I've gotten to work with. Thank you to the new city manager, Karen Layer. Thank you to the former city manager, Sabrina Landreth, for all of your work. Thank you to the COC members, Rodney Wong, Judy Inouye, I see in the back room. Thank you to Mr. Corbett in the back, Mr. Dodson, who graduated high school here in 1967. Thank you for being here. Thank you to all of you in the room. I'm very proud to be here. In my first 2 weeks as superintendent, the school board said, oh, by the way, we have this project. It's 10 years old. We want you to bring it across the finish line. I said, okay, great. Piece of cake. It wasn't that easy. But I'm proud to be here. It really is a historic day for all of us. And I'm proud to be in this room with all of you. I'm proud for our high school students, some of who are sitting here in the room with us, who said they're very excited about the new school, so you can ask them about that if you like. We have some other students, I think, outside who you might get to ask about it if you like. And thank you very much. We'll be offering some tours, and so I hope that you'll allow me to show you some of the campus. Thank you.
So now, I believe Cindy's really the master. So are we doing a ribbon cutting out here in the courtyard? And after that, there will be directions on how to go on a tour. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Cameron, Iman, smile. Smile. It's a picture.
Good seeing you.
Terrified. Cameron, where's that pretty smile? That's not it. Cheese, there we go. Excuse me. The cheese, hi. I miss you guys. Hi guys.
So once we get you, and then we'll kind of push the kids in between, and you can kind of bring it
You go first and then I'll go. Board members hanging out there? All right. Here we go. 1, 2. I need the kids to count.